Welcome back to another episode of the Coast to Coast podcast. My name is Robbie.
And I'm Flexing Joe.
Joe, good to see you. How's it going? What's your week looking like? How was your weekend?
Hey man, things are good. Things are good, dude. Just hanging out. I got the dogs in the back, eating the bone or something, acting like a couple pigs. Life is good over here.
Yep. Right on.
How about you?
Doing all right myself. Last week was a little bit of a rough week in general, but I worked out issue with Top Step and their payout, and
did you get paid?
And I got paid, yeah, and I requested another payout as well.
Hell yeah!
And, but Friday was a better day, but it's overall, like, I was focusing too much on the smaller time trades and just not really actually taking my system. Like, what I was struggling with was just that the market conditions weren't actually in agreement with what my system was, and it just took me too long to come to that conclusion. But Friday was the trend that we wanted. As I've been saying, I don't care if it's long or short, but for sure Friday was the day that everybody was salivating for. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for real, dude. It really was, man. And Maple taking the day off, I was on stream, bro, and it's like a common thing. I get on stream, I bring the trend.
Yeah, he's got his rules, and of course I respect that, but some of the days that he takes off tend to be pretty remarkable trend days, it seems.
For real. And it's crazy. I think that there was probably a good amount of struggle with that too, because I think everybody thought, oh, it's OPEX, we're going to just bounce, we're going to chop, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it's like, don't come into the market with the preconceived notions, because look how beautiful that trend was all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. And all I needed to see was just two really good candles, and that set the tone for what I wanted to do. And I didn't fight the trend. I went short. I did blow one account, but the other one's just fine. And so we're looking good to go for the next week. Hey, we should ask the audience. We're looking at our analytics stuff. We see that maybe there's about 30 to 40% that aren't sub. So give us a sub, please. But more seriously, we see that the watch time engagement is maybe like 15 to 20 minutes. And so, it seems like just our natural cadence has been around 45 minutes, and I guess the last one was an hour-ish. So would you guys prefer that we do like a 30-minute episode more consistently rather than just like the 45 minutes to an hour? So let us know in the comments, guys.
All right,
but Joe, we've been talking in pre-chat about some tickers, and we had some raw reactions that unfortunately we can't quite replicate as we're going to come through. But what I said to you, I think was, bro, have you seen Walmart? Or because we're pulling back huge.
Yo,
I know you and I both have shares. But this is a really nasty weekly candle, wouldn't you say?
Oh, dude, this is gross. This is absolutely gross. Yeah, like to engulf 3 weeks worth of price action like that is just insane. And I did say to somebody that I worked with a couple weeks ago, so I think it was, because the earnings was, I think, Thursday morning in pre-market, and so let me go down to the daily, I can see it. But so it was probably, I feel like it was Monday the 10th. I said to them that I was very concerned about this run up here. We have our earnings, pre-earnings run up. We are, if you look at the yearly chart, you look at how we are since the split here. This is about a year of growth, right? So it splits. It's about 59. That's where you're in. So you're in a great spot. And it runs up. $45 a share, $46 a share. That's a huge run up, right? So that's a lot for this company to go up in just a single year. We're running up into earnings, and I thought, hey, Walmart is going to beat revenue, beat earnings per share, and they're going to deliver soft guidance for this year. The market's not going to like that, and it's going to pull back. And man, it was like clockwork, dude. Why I didn't buy some puts to hedge my position, I don't know. But lesson learned for next time.
Or sell a covered call, maybe, right? But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing about news sometimes is the market is they're not very forgiving when everything is going their way, because they want more and more and more. And this has been a phenomenal run, and like you said, the earnings guidance was fine. Like, nothing's wrong on the books, but the goose is cooked, bro.
Yeah, this doesn't look very good. Just like in terms of, obviously, first things first, you don't take advice from a couple knuckleheads, right? Like we are the best podcast in Antarctica, okay? Like you don't take financial advice from us. We're just talking here, and
yeah.
I think like holding this for long term, I'm okay. Like I'm not worried about Walmart as a company. I think they're still doing a lot of big things. That the grocery delivery and everything they're doing is really taking off, and they're really. I know they're investing a lot in like trying to improve supply chain and everything else out there, right? But
yeah,
I'm not worried about it long term. So it's fine long term play, but. So if
100%, and they're not in the news in any controversial way like Target was, for example.
Yep.
But I think you and I both have some stories to tell about Costco too, right? You want to do that one?
Oh man, Costco, dude, she's like the hot girl that walked away and you never got her number, man. She's just like, so you had some leaps on her right here, right? No, 2022.
2022, yeah. When it was in the 400s, I was looking. If I remember correctly, it was like, in my mind, it looked like a double bottom or something like that. So I bought 600 leaps. And I don't exactly remember the time frame, but it was somewhere around there, like, and they paid handsomely. And then I doubled down on them. I took profit and then I rolled over to a different expiration.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the strike was actually similar because the price was still good. But there was, I don't know if it was like, if I misunderstood or if there was like a hot dog price scare. I don't really actually know what the situation was. But it came against me hard, and so I took a pretty big loss on that one. And although I've looked back periodically, I haven't retaken any position in Costco.
Oh man, it's tough too because like this is just like absolutely beautiful, like just holding this trend line. If you're into that sort of thing, holding the weekly 20 EMAs here, just like once it finally broke over and reclaimed it, it's just bounce. And
from what I remember, it came back within a couple of days of my of the dip. So I don't know what the situation was, but yeah, she's looking great, huh?
Yeah, she really is, man. You know what, man? You just don't mess with that $1.50 glizzy, dude. You don't do it. Do it. And I think Costco is probably going to be pretty good. And you know what? Another one, man, that's bullish because of Costco, and Costco's bullish because of it, is this Coca-Cola chart right here, dude.
Yeah,
I like this one.
Chart there.
I like this one, dude. I'm so glad. This is where I got in right here on this arrow. And I like to tease my wife about it because I told her she should buy some of her Roth too. I was like, oh, you should pick up some shares because we both love Diet Coke, man. We love the Diet Coke in a can or McDonald's, man. The McDonald's one is the best. But now they're going to have it at Costco, so I have to go get some at Costco too.
Yeah, great chart that you have drawing there, bouncing off your 200 moving average or something like that.
Yep, 200 EMA. Yep.
EMA, yeah, and then you have just like that upper supply-ish, and then you have your channel and your regression channel, and very low risk on that trade there. For sure. Or investment, I should say.
Yeah, it's long term. I'm just going to keep holding it, and that's the thing too is it was nice that it put in this bullish engulfing week, and that obviously we have the candle flip on the weekly here. We got a nice dip buy, and boom, that's like right where I'm in. Like it's like 61.70, 61.60s or whatever. But truth be told, like because it's a long-term play, it's a good dividend stock. I was prepared to just keep buying it on the low, and just like if it was going to keep going down, I would have grabbed some more. I was a little bit concerned about the kind of the politics side of it, though, man. Like with RFK Jr. and the whole "Make America Healthy Again" thing. I was like, yo, but Donald Trump is a big Diet Coke fan. I didn't think he was going to let him mess with Diet Coke.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's it could be safe just because the ingredients are pretty well known.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of the things that they're talking about in cereal. In fact, I saw a YouTube video talking about a really insane FDA process where there's something called GRAS. It's like generally recommended as safe.
Okay.
And it's a self-reporting situation where if you're using these additives in the food and you're basically doing your own study and self-reporting that it's safe, then then you submit that, and then you kind of like skip the background check that the FDA might do. But then what's really shady is that there's basically three things that the FDA can do. They can ask you questions, or they can be like, nope, got no questions, and then you're pretty much good to go. Or they can say, no, this isn't GRAS, and therefore, it's, you can't use it or whatever. But the thing that really surprised me was that if you submit GRAS and then they ask questions about it, you can just withdraw that and then go, and it's just like as if you never asked in the first place. And that sounds completely insane to me.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't sound pretty good, dude. So
yeah, so aspartame. What's the other one? The other one that's made in diet drinks. Do you remember? Sucralose, aspartame, sucralose was maybe the main two.
Mm-hmm.
And those have been. I mean, there's only a few ingredients in these beverages anyway, versus like cereals, breads, and everything else. So low number of ingredients should be okay from that scrutiny, versus like all these, colors with the different numbers and all that other various food stabilizers and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. They're gonna. I think they're trying to get rid of the high fructose corn syrup, fructose, however you guys want to say it out there. The the HFCS.
HFS.
Yeah, whatever. That friggin' stuff, like whatever. They're trying to get rid of that. So I don't know. Diet Coke is safe.
Yeah.
I mean. I'm not saying safe to drink. I'm just saying it's like safe from all this, whatever. It's fine. Actually, just speaking of Diet Coke though, because like it does have aspartame in it. Like the one study I saw, and this was like way back, and you feel free to gut check me in the comments section, is like you'd have to drink like gallons upon gallons of this stuff for like weeks on end in order to have like any sort of slight uptick in like your cancer, like the probability of cancer. But it's still like one of those things that's like, it's your state, bro, known to the state of California to cause cancer. That freaking label is on everything, dude.
Yeah, it just really does seem that way.
It's probably on these blue light glasses, dude. It's everywhere. Yeah, right there.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that shakes out. It's interesting to follow. I'm really curious because one of the biggest things in the spotlight that I've seen has been Fruit Loops. Like American versus Canadian, United States versus Canadian, and you can see that the United States versions are very vibrant in color, and they have all those colorings. And I saw a video somewhat recently where someone was doing a blind taste test, and they're like, "Okay, surely this is the American one because it tastes better," but it was in there. It was a Canadian one, so I don't know if they were biased because maybe they were from Canada. I don't remember, but I don't know. It's interesting. I for one, I'm for fewer ingredients.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I love a good breakfast cereal, dude, too, The nostalgia.
What's your go-to?
I'm a big fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, that's a good one.
What about you?
That's a good one. Well, recently I've been going ham on Waffle Crisp because that used to be my favorite cereal in my late teens. Yeah. And they discontinued it for a while. And, it's a crazy story because I actually contacted Post Cereal to see about buying a pallet one time, and then possibly like just selling it on the side on eBay or something. I didn't proceed with that, but I did get the costs, and But anyway, I saw it at Food Max some months ago, and it's funny because, actually, my wife saw it at Food Max and she picked it up, and then coincidentally, like just a couple of days prior, I had been telling her that I was jonesing for it, and I ended up buying like a generic malto meal version, which actually holds up pretty decent compared to it. But Waffle Crisp right now is what is in my jam.
Yo, the malto meal cereals in the industrial bags, like that's I've done that plenty of times, bro. You just buy that freaking bags like this, right? But
it's like a pillow, bro, and this is such a good value.
Hell yeah, man! It's all about the value, but. Listen, guys, if you're looking for a side hustle, you find a discontinued product like your favorite cereal, you get a whole pallet of it and you hawk it on the side. You just put up a side of the road, charge triple, quadruple. People like Robbie will come out and pay for the cereal.
Yeah, I would have. For sure, man.
Shit, man. So, all right, market though. Market. So, what else we got going on here, man? What else? What's on your mind for the market for this past week?
Well, I mean, SPY is in a range.
Yeah.
And we hit, and the Qs, we hit an all-time high three days in a row. Not by much, but it still hit. And it's just interesting because the ES futures hit the all-time high, but the Nasdaq did not. NQ, guys. And I just always find that to be I don't fully know how that works, but it's just really interesting. We have the potential for interest rates coming down or going up. We're remaining the same. We have in a few weeks that decision coming in, but right now it looks like probability is that they'll remain at the same rate that it currently is. Mm-hmm. But we were talking about various tickers, and incidentally, those have dividends. So it's probably fair to say that you and I both appreciate a good dividend stock, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about DOGE and the 5,000 dividend, and then my shirt here?
Bro, look at this DOGE shirt he's got on. Look at it.
Oh, I'm hiding.
It's so funny. It's the only thing.
Invisible.
He's invisible except for the DOGE shirt. Bro, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't really care so much about the what happened like in the past, because obviously the nation is in like serious debt. My stance on it is let's square up and get that debt corrected, right? And like figure out what's really going on with like all this government spending. I mean, because there's a lot of stuff that's like really crazy with all that. I mean, it's to me it's very crazy that you have like politicians making like 150 whatever 175K a year, and they're worth like $10+ million. Like. I don't know. It's just crazy. That's on both sides of the aisle, right? So like, there's some stuff going down. I don't really care about the DOGE thing, like in terms of a refund. Get the past squared up, and then let's look at the future and giving everybody like a proper tax cut. Is my thought. Yeah,
that's my thought too. It's like because even though you might be saving money, the fact just because you're saving money doesn't mean you can use that quote unquote savings to pay something else. It's like all that the money that they're spending is still basically borrowed anyway. So it's just basically all you're doing is you're not maxing out the credit card anymore. You're just trying to cut back. So yeah, I agree with you 100% that I'd rather just have tax cuts and then pay less going forward. But there's some pretty big ramifications if they do go through with that, because just like we had in stimulus in 2020 during the pandemic. There's a potential for people using that money in the market, retail investors. They could save it, they could spend, but that's going to come at a cost if they do print that money and hand it out. So it might give you the feel goods, but I'm not sure that that's what we want to be doing in the long term.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a free lunch, man. No such thing as a free lunch. But oh man, but if you could go back in time, if I could go back in time in the COVID days, bro, I would take every stimulus check and just load the boat with some stocks, man.
For sure, right?
For sure.
Yeah, that would have been great. Get some Tesla, pre-$1,000 when it was like, gosh, it was like $120, $80. Load up on some Walmart, maybe even. Get some Costco.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
There's plenty of them. There's just NVIDIA.
Oh, NVIDIA, yeah.
Yep.
NVIDIA, heck, even just load up on some SPY QQQ, right?
Absolutely, man. This, I'm just looking at like this. Just looks like. I know that people probably are very, very scared. So I have like two thoughts on this, right? Like obviously, this is a very, very bearish day. This is almost exactly what I thought the University of Michigan report was going to do, because like 2 weeks prior, there was a pretty nasty reaction off of it as well, right? Whatever that Friday was. I think it was, I guess it would have been the 7th, right? So there was a pretty nasty, because this was the revised one. But like overall, kind of hard not to see, like looking at ES, that like this is just sort of like really trying to flag out here still,
Yeah.
And so the market is designed to go up. I'm not saying we can't have a bear market here, but I could see this continue to play out, and I can see this being a perfect way to bring it down to because it's 50 SMAs like right here. So bring down the market a little bit, shake out some weaker hands, And then what do we got this week? We got NVIDIA earnings, and then on Thursday, after hours, and then we got core PCE, right, I think on Friday, and, and that's the Fed's preferred method of measuring inflation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're gonna dump it, we're gonna keep going. We already took the liquidity over the highs, right? Because we broke out over the highs on ES. But if we get 2-3 days, maybe we consolidate. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? It's anybody's guess.
Yeah, you're right. That core PCE, if that comes in good and they feel that they have a good grasp on what they're doing with inflation, the tools that they use, then I could see us pushing up and breaking out of that triple top. For sure.
And you know what, though, on the flip side, what deeply concerns me is, because I don't tell a lot of people at work that I trade. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of reasons, many of them being like things like, I don't want to get asked, do you have any good picks? What are you trading? If I give you money, will you trade for me? Like no. I mean, most definitely not. Because that money's going to disappear. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the way life works. But my concern is that I don't tell a lot of people that I trade, and a lot of people are just talking about the market. Like, everybody's talking about buying shares, investing, this and that, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is a market top. Like, this is a top signal, and that scares me, man. It definitely scares me.
Yeah, because you see that chart that's like, where are we? Are we in the denial? Is too early, and the euphoria, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we're in the euphoria right now. I mean, it could just be setting up for round 2. Mm-hmm. But yeah, with the size of that candle that we finally got, maybe we dig a little deeper here. Yeah. For sure. So you really quickly, you want let's tell them about this thing you stumbled upon. You told me about this chart navigator right here. I'm gonna go down there's actually Thinkorswim. They add features from time to time, and this chart navigator that you just added there is kind of like, it gives you an overall it's just a visualization of the chart, and just kind of makes it a little bit easier for you to scroll back rather than only looking at the candles and then trying to figure out, okay, what was the day that I'm looking at? But you can just kind of visualize, okay, there was a dip somewhere in the middle, so just zoom there. That's what I wanted to look at, and just help you maybe do some different charting, do some back testing, whatever. Just kind of a little handy little feature you can add that on any one of your charts.
Yeah, it's to be honest, I actually like it a whole lot better than the scroll. It's like it's a bigger object to click, and then it just seems smoother versus when I go back to, because it's under chart settings, it's under time axis, so you just turn off the chart navigator. So when you do that, I guess actually in this time setting, the scroll bar is quite big, right. But I don't know. I thought it looked cooler. I liked it.
Yeah, it's a pretty handy little tool, and they added some other things, but the other one that I thought was really of note was that when you're making an order to buy or sell, well, I should say sell specifically. Can you just do one really quick, Joe, just to show? Just right click and sell. Open up an order ticket. And then if you click on you have to bring that on your screen though.
Yeah, I was just making sure it wasn't going to show everybody on my account or something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. So then you click on the edit, and then the little small gear on the right, where the red line is, the little baby gear on the right side, I think.
Right here?
Yeah. So you can change your tax lot on your sell here. If I remember correctly, you can do this, but it was only on the account, on your account wide settings. So you have to have logged into Schwab to do that. Right here, if you want to do last in, last out for maybe some tax loss harvesting or whatever, or last in, first out, do some tax loss harvesting, then you do that, or whatever you want to do. I thought that was a pretty cool feature that they finally added.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool. Honestly, I'm just excited that they added any features, bro.
Yeah, because I don't look at the the trade or the update log because I feel like there's an update every day, but I don't actually know what they're updating. And so I came across this and I thought, hey, that's actually pretty interesting. So I thought we should share that.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely was, man. Definitely was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what about? I think do we really? You talked a little bit about your trades, right? But did you want to say anything else about focusing on a smaller time frame and just or being oblivious to market conditions, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So yeah, my problem really was I've been really gung ho on my 1 minute momentum strategy, which is basically you want to see a really, really strong candle, and then the next candle you want to buy or sell within the wicks of that first candle to take a continuation trade, or the second. It just kind of depends. But I was, and it had been working quite well for me. But my problem was that the market actually wasn't setting up in the way that my criteria defines for me to take that trade, because I was seeing moves, but they weren't big engulfing candles and they weren't closing high. They were closing as dojis. So like I'm looking back at my journal, and then I'm doing my own review. I'm like, I went long there? Like, what a dummy, So that's the good thing about doing your daily review rather than just only journaling as you're trading, because like you've said in the past, the only time you're truly unbiased is when you're not in a position. And now that we have the value of hindsight and being able to see how the day progressed, it's very obvious. But even just looking at the first few candles on some of those trades that I took, it's like, Robbie, you were such a dummy.
We're always dummies in hindsight, man. We're always dummies. It's crazy that like I saw so many different things playing out on Friday, like looking at the NASDAQ that like I didn't see, maybe at the time, when I was watching the live market, right? But like just even from like the way the pullback moves were, how consistent they were, everything was really good. Like I want to say even like maybe it's not this one, but I was just like messing around. I think I might have been on the 10-minute chart, and I was like, oh, let me just like draw a fib on like every one of these type moves, and it was crazy. It might have even been on the 2-minute, man. The 2-minute chart was wild. Actually, this is pretty interesting. We gapped up here and then seemed to be rejecting that area, but like, yeah. So first 2-minute candle pulls back, barely peaks over and closes over to the golden zone, knifes, makes a new low. Then from this one, you go from that low to there, right to the golden zone, and then down.
That was the best one, Joe, because you got the fibs, and then you have almost like a really great breaking base under the last pivot, like the first couple of candles, how they close. Yeah, you sweep up a little bit higher. I don't even say I'd call it sweep, but like it was just a really good retest there for you to retake the short.
Yep.
And I think we had been so choppy last week. And even since the prior Friday, maybe some of us weren't really expecting the trend to work, like to finally arrive, right?
Yeah, I was on Voice, and this was the pre-market low, and I told people, like, I literally remember saying to people, like, hey, we got to do our job here. We broke the pre-market low. This is from the London sessions. I was like, we broke this London session low. Like, that's a scale trigger to take profit. And then look, of course, like you can see that's what people were doing, and there was light buying on the way back up. But this is the short I took. I took this at 44. So I remember just seeing like how this candle was, and I think it only, if it went all the way back up here, it only went like 7 points against me, which is fine, right? But same thing, just like seeing it, and a little bit cautious because we kind of had broken that pivot, but just looked like it was weak, and it was a 2-minute EMA pullback. And yeah, man, it worked great. And like, just if you drew the fib there, golden zone rejection. If you drew the fib a little bit further up, still a golden zone rejection on like the first 10 minutes, actually 15 minutes. So if you did 10-minute orb, 15-minute orb, whatever, it was all going to work. And then man, it just this was just crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But
what was our rank on the day?
What was the range on the day? I'm just going to go with the daily candle and tell you. Let's move this nice bar over here. 592.75 points.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Especially considering the last few candles were like under like, I don't know, 50 points or something.
Oh, dude, this
on
one's
DS and what on NQ? Let me see here.
like under like 200. Like this one's 180, this one's 217, this one's 181, and this one was 284. So you had four really tight days, and then finally they just flushed the toilet on everybody.
Yep, indeed.
Yep, for sure, man. But I mean, decent day. I'd like this. I cannot stress enough to everybody that these are the type of days to really study and question, like, why are you fighting the trend, you know? And the other long trade that legitimately did try a long trade was, and I'll just go down to the 2 minute and show you guys like where I was wrong. And I realized like so much so how I was wrong, but literally took a long trade right here. Right here, you know, at like 22,000, just kind of thought we were like trying to reclaim this, because where we pushed up, we broke this pivot, came down, and we swooped up, and then we had this candle here. I was like, oh, this is okay. That's it, you know, because I mean, to be fair, right? If you looked at this chart, how many times have we seen a chart like this where, you know, it does actually like continue upwards, right? And so I thought
solid curl, and it's higher lows, and finally a little higher high. So
Yep. We started trying to get. I don't remember where VWAP was exactly. So yeah, like I thought there was a chance. Like I legitimately thought, hey, there's a chance right here. We're going to go back up and test VWAP, and I think that was a little bit too of that. People in my head, you know, with like it's OPEX, it's going to chop, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And looking at what was it like right here? This was the initial balance low. So I was looking at that, you know. What's that study or whatever that guy put out where something like 88% or 85% of the time, you know, like the initial balance, like the high or the low of the day is in basically, except for like key days like OPEX and like FOMC. So basically I think the study says like if you break down and like close under or over the initial balance, then like that's it, the other end of the range is in. But like OPEX and FOMC are anomaly day, CPI is an anomaly day. So I was like, oh, well, like, all right, like here's, you know, not a strong basing under, you know, what is the initial balance low. And in fact, then we push down, we reclaim it, and then we get a big bullish candle here off this 2. I thought for sure this sucker was going to go.
Yeah,
it went all right. Down.
But after, you know, after that failed, you know, with some patience, you know, there was another breaking base to the downside, just exactly on that initial balance. So
yeah, right there, man.
But the sad thing is, though, after seeing such an epic move, in our minds, we're thinking, well, how much further can it really go, right? So, like, for you to take on a position there and go short, I could see that, you know, many people could accept that risk, but I could imagine that many people maybe only took 15 to maybe even 40 points on a trade there. And then we're like, okay, yeah, we made a new low a day, and maybe we're done or whatever. And then we sold off so much more.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. I mean, this pullback here would have been harder to sit through at 46 points, right? But like, if you took that break-in base to the downside, right? Because, you know, I think on the 10-minute chart here, your candle by candle had flipped. Let me see if I can see that.
We flipped at 1050 on NQ. Long, and then we flipped short at 1210.
Yeah. Oh, so we didn't actually flip short until like way down here on the 10-minute chart. But you rejected. That's what this is up here. This is the rejection of the 10-minute 9 EMA. So we're rejecting the 10-minute 9 EMA, and like that's just like ultimate trend confirmation. You know, we're going to keep going, and that's exactly what we did. But yeah, what's low can go lower, and what's high can go higher. So just need to remember that, because
actually, Joe, one thing to comment on is that both you and I, even though you took that long trade, you and I had both drawn like an ascending wedge there too.
Yes,
if you remember.
Yes, it's right here on my default. So I drew that, and then actually, like if I went back to my 10-minute chart, like I was just obviously playing around. I got a lot of drawings on here, so I apologize, guys. But like I actually played around with like here's kind of this like flagpole, right? If you have like this bear flag area. And then what I did was I just literally duplicated this drawing, put it to the bottom of it where the flagpole broke, and then like we literally got almost that exact same. Ooh, shit. We got that exact same range as like the low. So like that was crazy too.
Yeah, for sure.
So all things I put into an obsidian note. I'm loving that thing.
Excellent. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got? Oh, you want to talk about Grok for a second?
Yeah. You go ahead, Brian. I haven't used it.
Okay. Yeah. So I the other day I went ahead and put subtitles in all of our episodes. Well, thanks to YouTube auto captioning, and I just thought it would be interesting to see what AI would do to summarize the episodes. Like, just hey, give me a summary on the episode, and then also just give me like what the talking points, like two separate things. And at first, I was using OpenAI to see what that would come up with, because that's what I had used in the past, and it just, it worked okay for me, and I liked it better than DeepSeek, because it felt a little bit faster and also less potential for censorship, even though, we're not really talking about anything that's going to be censored. But unfortunately, there is like a 30-something K character limit with OpenAI, and most of our episodes were about 50 to 60K characters.
Okay.
And so after I did the first half, I guess I hit my limit on the free tokens or whatever that I could use, so it didn't work out. So I asked Grok what its character limit was, and it basically said they didn't have a character limit. So I'm like, okay, well, how about you try summarizing this for me? Here, here's the transcript. Please give me an article style summary, and then also give me like some talking points. And it actually did a really great job. Like, it had some verbiage there that was kind of cool. Like, what was the saga of the bag holder or something like that?
Yeah. Is that the shot color? You want me to throw the obsidian up there and show everybody what we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead. So yeah, it was cool because like the notes that we put are just kind of like usually just something that we put in after the fact. Like, Joe and I are pre-gaming. We have like our own like notes that we take beforehand, and then we update our obsidian notes after the fact. But in the Grok summary, there's two things that it did. It does the summary that you see there, and then it's got those 12 bullet points, and then like at the end of that, there's a separate summary that's like the like an article style of our podcast.
Yeah, dude, this shit was awesome,
yeah.
Dude. Detailing his own chop-induced woes.
Exactly. Like, I think myself, I'm a pretty smart guy, but like, I wouldn't have said that. And I love that it did that. Trader struggles, big dip bag holder saga. Yes, it's pretty cool. So like, we're going to be posting our captions in that here going forward, and then putting them in our notes just for our sake anyway.
Yeah.
But it's free, and the limits are, at least for now anyway. I don't know what their plans are to monetize it. I know they have in the past, but then they made it free, so I don't know like what the tiers are. But for the time being, it seems like a pretty sweet tool that anybody can use without too many limitations. It seems, for the time being.
Dude, absolutely, man. Like, honestly, even I read this already. Like, even just rereading this, like, is so funny. The big dip bag holder, right? And it was just like, miraculously survived a wild 90-point dip by sheer luck, right? But the euphoria was short-lived. They blew a funded account the next day, prompting thoughts of quitting. Robbie's advice: don't you fucking quit.
Yeah, it's like that's like somebody giving us the play-by-play on our podcast, right?
I know.
So that was really cool. It was entertaining to see. It's a pretty neat tool. I don't usually have a lot of use for AI, like auto summary type stuff, but God, what a time to be alive, man. Imagine having this in school, like being a teacher. Like, I don't even like, when I was in school, internet was newer. So like, we didn't have Wikipedia back then. So we still had the NCARTA on CD-ROM for our encyclopedias. And if you didn't have that, well, then there was a physical encyclopedia at the library.
Yep.
But now we have Wikipedia. We have a billion websites out there that have news. We have YouTubes. And then now we have AI, and it's like, I don't even know, like, it's crazy, dude. If you're going to school and you're you're kind of lazy, like I was, you bet your ass I'd probably be using the AI
For real, dude.
to help with my homework and stuff. But like that's kind of sketchy because how much are you actually getting out of school, and are we becoming dumber, as a result of this new convenience?
Oh, probably so, right? Two funny quotes or two funny, I guess, kind of quick combos. It's like the first one is, take care of your health now because your future doctor is currently cheating his way through college.
Yeah,
and
100%.
That's the first one. But then the secondly is like there's a guy that I work with who he was telling me that like basically was reading like some article that like if you can just really take care of your health for the next about 10 years, by then, at the current AI modeling, it will have caught up like so much so that there'll be a dramatic increase in like the ability to, treat people properly and then like prolong their lives. So he was like basically just like take really good care of yourself for the next 10 years because then like after that, AI is going to help advance that. But now, I just started thinking about like the finances of that. Like, if so, like, what if the average life expectancy goes up in like another 10 years? Like, what does that do to social programs like Social Security, or what does that do to like the workforce, right? Like, well, all these people are able to retire, and now we get this enormous like retired nation. That's crazy.
Yeah, and what about algo trading? Like, I don't know how many people you've talked to about running automated trading strategies, but I've seen a few myself through like advertisements, and then talking to a couple of traders that have found some type of system or created their own system, like through NinjaTrader, or working with strategies on TraderBait and running those in like the simulator or whatever. But what I found is that for the most part, the time in the market is pretty long to get profit compared to like say what you and I are doing in NQ. And then the risk to reward is very negative, but the strike rate is good, right? So it's interesting. I don't know. I don't have anything against it for sure, but I don't know how that, like, if once everybody starts to get, well, I don't know everybody, but like if a lot of people start doing this, it's going to be really interesting, because then you're going to have algo versus algo, and then retail and versus algo, and market makers versus algo, and then the market makers are going to have the algo. So it's like, who's going to be trading anymore? Like, it's just all going to be, it's going to be Skynet.
Yeah, man, it's a tough. I'm really just thinking like hard while you're talking, because it's wild. Because currently, there's a lot of people who always like want to just try to seek out and try to find the holy grail of trading, right? Like, is it this formula? Is it this? Is it that? It's whatever. And like that, it can't really exist, because there are too many emotions wrapped up in the market. A lot of the market is trading the psychology of other people. Are people afraid? Right? And like, Warren Buffett figured that out a long time ago, right? What did he say? Like, sell when others are greedy, buy when others are fearful. And like, that's why I'm worried about that topping in the market, because if like all these people are willing to put their money in the market, they're greedy. They're thinking the market's going to go up. And that's usually not a good thing. Like, see 2008, right? Like, not a good thing. So, but it's all the psychology of people. And I don't know. I'm sure, like a computer can, calculate that out and figure it out better than anybody else. But then there's still that one guy. If there's a one guy who comes in and says, you know what, like, I'm going to dump this many shares, whatever, on the market, like right now, I want out, right? They got tipped off, or they're just afraid. They saw a news article, now they're afraid. No, I'm getting out. I'm locking it all up. Like, an algorithm might be able to respond quicker than a human can, but like, an algorithm's not going to see that coming.
Yeah, and if it's a large enough participant, then it's a cascading effect. Just like, it's always a cascading effect. But then when you have the robots involved, it's like, it's just fascinating to think of how insane that kind of thing would be. Because then it's like the AIs would be like, okay, it's time to flip short. Everybody selling, sell. And then I don't know. It's just it's maybe we're in a wild west right now, maybe.
Yeah, it definitely could be, man. Time will tell. It's gonna be a very very interesting time to continue to trade and learn the market and just see how things, like, we're literally watching history in the making here with this AI stuff, which is pretty cool. And And just think about like 20 years ago, how much different life is, man. Like, like you remember being in grade school and they were like, you got to learn how to do this math because you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket when you grow up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was so excited when I had my calculator watch with the little phone book thing.
Yeah.
And not that I used it that much because it was really a pain in the ass to use. Yep. But yeah, man, like you're not going to have a computer. Well, you know what? Guess what? We do. Yeah. Everybody's got one and they're on their wrist basically now. Yeah. And it's smarter than what we had going to the moon.
Man, in 6th grade, I had this teacher, Ms. Wachowski. I mean, I can't even remember how to pronounce her last name, dude. It's like that. There's no way she's still around. She smoked like a chimney. She reeked like an ashtray, dude. Fingernails was yellow, everything. She had this nasty cough. Anyways, well, I can just remember her being brutal in 6th grade math class, and I just want to go back in time and be like, Ms. Wachowski or whatever her name is. Wyshansky. That's what it is. Wyshansky.
You know what? Maybe you're getting mixed up with Mike Wazowski.
Dude, hey,
Wazowski.
She was physically built like that, though.
Yeah.
But I just want to be like, hey, let me introduce you to my GPS, cell phone, text messaging, computer, calculator, everything device. Like literally right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world of your fingertips, man.
Dude, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, all right, man. We've been going at it for 45 minutes, dude.
Yeah. So, hey, we should ask the audience. We're looking at our analytics and stuff. We see that maybe there's about 30 to 40% that aren't sub. So give us a sub, please. But more seriously, we see that the watch time engagement is maybe like 15 to 20 minutes, and so it seems like just our natural cadence has been around 45 minutes, and I guess the last one was an hour-ish. So would you guys prefer that we do like a 30-minute episode more consistently rather than just like the 45 minutes to an hour? So let us know in the comments, guys.
For real, yeah. Let us know. I'm just thinking about this, bro. I'm thinking I think we should clip this video right here. Mm-hmm. And I should put this at the beginning because the analytics say that most people ain't gonna see this. Oh,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, so clip it, put it in the front, and then leave it at the end too, so that way they see it twice for the real ones.
That's it for the real ones who stuck around. Yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate all you guys who are subbed out there.
Comment real ones if you got this far. Oh, never mind, because they're going to see that in the clip.
I'll put this at the end, just the end. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. Comment real one.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, man. Well, great chat. As always, we'll be back at it next week. 007 episode.
All right. See you guys.
Later, everybody.